Well, Durud Patriots, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to day 33 of Iran Revolution Live with your hosts, the wonderful and amazing Armin Navabi, and of course, myself, Goldie Gamari. Welcome. Armin.
Wonderful and amazing as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Very kind of you to say, Armin. How are you doing?
Good, good. I'm get angry at this person in the chat for saying that I used to salute wrong. I wasn't saluting wrong. You have no idea what you're talking about. On StreamYard, I had the mirror image before. I was being consistent with Goldie from my perspective. Then I realized it was mirrored. So anybody who's making fun of me for the wrong salute, you have no idea what you're talking about. It used to be the mirror image from my perspective. So
there you go.
Yeah. Yes.
No hating on Armin, please. No hating on Armin.
Yeah.
So Armin, I actually have a radio interview in about 8 minutes. So depending on what you want to do, I could either just leave and you run the show for half an hour, or I could just play my radio interview live as I'm doing it. What would you guys prefer?
We could get the chat to decide. I do have a video that goes over the military analysis. It has the really good visuals for the military buildup around Iran and what it's about to potentially happen. And I saw sometimes people really enjoy going through those details. So, but let's let the chat decide. But I also know the chat also really likes watching your interviews as well. So radio interview, I think, will be probably more popular because people really like watching your interviews.
That's what we're seeing. So the radio interview, it's just going to be me speaking, and then you guys will hear it on the phone. Okay, we'll do that then. But Armin, why don't you do the military video now, because we still have some time until that begins, and then whenever my radio interview starts, we can go to that, and then we can go back to because I want to hear the military analysis as well.
Oh, okay. All right. So because we keep talking about what's happening, but people can't imagine it in their head because there's just so much. I thought I go find the proper visuals so that people could actually now better imagine what's happening. By the way, guys, before I play this, I stopped on this image right here because one thing you need to understand is that one reason why we're requiring a lot of preparation is because there's only 2 points of entry into Iran right now when it comes to doing air attacks. Because think about it, like Saudi Arabia apparently is not allowing their airspace to be used. Neither is Qatar and the UAE. So you can't come from here, right? So you can come from here because this is Israel and Syria and Iraq. They have no ability to refuse their airspace anyways. So this is a window that is open that you could enter. And also this is why we need the aircraft. And that's why we also have the George H.W. Bush coming into the Mediterranean Sea. So we have basically an airbase, a floating airbase over here. And then we're going to have we have the USS Abraham Lincoln over here. You could basically come from the south and you can come from the west. You can't come from the southwest. You could come from the southeast. And obviously over here is basically from Russian territory. You can't come from the north. You can't come from north, but you can enter from here and from, the Syria, Iraq airspace. Those are and here basically it's unavailable because Saudi Arabia is nope. So yeah, these are the two areas that we could come in. That's why we need the floating air bases over here, basically the strike group over here and the strike group over here, because these are the only 2 points of entry that we have right now. Right? So now let's go watch this. Let me know if you have audio once I start playing, okay?
Why is the Pentagon rushing to move a slow floating city halfway across the world at a burn rate of millions per day? In an era of stealth bombers that can strike anywhere on Earth in hours, why do we still rely on these massive assets? Moving a U.S. supercarrier from the South China Sea to the Persian Gulf isn't just a road trip. It is a logistical nightmare. We're talking about a massive operation that burns through more than $6.5 million every single day. But here is why they do it. A bomber strikes and leaves. but a carrier strike group stays. It parks 70 fighter jets off the coast of an adversary and leaves them there. It creates a no-fly zone that a bomber simply cannot maintain. But how exactly do U.S. attack operations and logistical support actually work? Part 1. The naval pivot. The chess pieces are moving. We are tracking the largest naval redistribution since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. The Pentagon is emptying the Pacific to flood the Persian Gulf. But where are all the U.S. nuclear
But this is actually very important. They're emptying the Pacific. That means that this is the fact that Taiwan is not being defended right now as much as it used to be. That the United States would not just do that. Like for the United States, the Pacific is so much more important than the Middle East. So the fact that they are leaving the Pacific, less defended than before, that's why a lot of people think something is going to happen because they're not going to do that for no reason, just for deterrence, just for deterrence. Oh, thank you. Sandra saying I share you everywhere. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Pentagon is emptying the Pacific to flood the Persian Gulf. But where are all the U.S. nuclear carriers stationed when not at war? And how many will travel to Iran and the Middle East? On paper, the number is 11 nuclear-powered supercarriers, divided into 2 distinct classes. First, the Nimitz class. These are the 10 workhorses of the fleet commissioned between 1975 and 2009. Second, the Ford class. Right now, there is only one, the USS Gerald R. Ford. This new generation uses electromagnetic catapults to launch jets faster. Well, let's look at this scenario: what happened when the Department of War gives a green signal. The USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group is typically stationed in the South China Sea to deter Chinese vessels. However, upon receiving flash priority orders, it can sprint to the Middle East in just a week. It has to transit the Malacca Strait, the choke point between Malaysia and Indonesia. Meanwhile, the U.S. can launch another nuclear aircraft carrier. The USS George H.W. Bush will depart from Norfolk, Virginia, likely crossing the Atlantic to enter the Mediterranean. This leaves the Pacific dangerously thin, with only the USS Ronald Reagan or its replacement, the George Washington, potentially available in Japan. The plan is to have 2 full strike groups off the coast of Iran within 10 days to form a pincer deterrent. Here is part 2, the missile logistics. Following the first strike against Iran's nuclear bunkers, the U.S. had actually removed 60% of its missile defense systems from Qatar and the Middle East. So how many missiles are being transported from different parts of the world to fix this? The answer is fill the sky with these Globemasters. The U.S. military needs a massive airlift of roughly 4 to 6 Patriot batteries and components for a THAAD battery. This involves over 300 heavy transport flights. But here is the detail most people miss. The U.S. needs a flood of aging Patriot missiles to be pulled from stockpiles in Germany and Japan. Why move old missiles? Because they are the perfect cheap solution for Iran's thousands of Shahed drones. Commanders are hoarding the brand new, scarce PAC-3 kinetic interceptors for the hypersonic and ballistic missile threats. The military is clearing out the Cold War inventory to save the modern tech for the big one. And part 3 is the cost of war. What is the cost involved in this massive transfer? War is expensive, but moving and arming is a fortune. First, the ships. Operating a single carrier strike group costs between $6.5 million and $9 million per day. That covers nuclear maintenance, jet fuel, and food for 7,000 sailors. Second, the ammo. A single THAAD interceptor costs $12.7 million. The SM-3 missiles on the destroyers cost $28 million per shot. If you combine the airlift fuel, the naval surge, and the pre-positioned ammo, this 30-day deterrence operation has a burn rate exceeding $1.5 billion. And
so you see, he said deterrence as if he's putting it in air quotes. Did you notice that? Like deterrent, like this is too expensive just for deterrence. Did you notice that? It looks like he said it as if he's saying it with air quotes. Listen again.
If you combine the airlift fuel, the naval surge, and the pre-positioned ammo, this 30-day deterrence operation has a burn rate exceeding $1.5 billion. And that is before a single shot is fired. In part 4, we'll look at what is the logistic nightmare involved in sustaining this force. The nightmare is access. As of January 14, 2026, we have reports of a partial evacuation of the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar due to rising tensions. This is the nightmare scenario. If Qatar or the UAE deny the U.S. Navy access to their ports for fear of Iranian retaliation, the carrier strike group loses its pit stop. The Lincoln is nuclear, but her escort destroyers need diesel every 3 days. Without a friendly port, the U.S. Navy must create a steel chain of supply-class oilers stretching 7,000 miles back to Diego Garcia or Guam.
Wow.
If that chain breaks, the most powerful fleet in history becomes a floating museum. We cannot ignore this part 5, the air power alternative. But what happens if the carriers don't get there in time? Can the U.S. fight without its Navy? The answer is yes. Focusing only on the slow-moving ships is a mistake. The United States holds an ace up its sleeve that doesn't need to wait for a clear shipping lane. Even without a carrier strike group, the U.S. can deliver precision strikes for weeks to come. This is the domain of Air Force Global Strike Command. They can deploy the big 3 strategic bombers anywhere in the world in just 24 hours. First, you have the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. This is the door kicker. It is the only aircraft in history capable of taking off from Missouri, flying nonstop to Iran, penetrating the most advanced air defense networks undetected, and dropping massive bunker busters on deep underground facilities. Second, the B-1B Lancer, known as the Bone. This supersonic heavy hitter carries the largest payload of any U.S. bomber. It can dash in at high speed and low altitude to deliver massive barrages of cruise missiles or satellite-guided bombs to clear the path. And finally, the B-52 Stratofortress. It may look old, but do not underestimate it. It acts as a flying missile truck, capable of launching long-range cruise missiles from hundreds of miles away, well outside the reach of Iranian air defenses. Let's take a look at how this works. The first line attack involves the B-2 stealth bomber moving in to destroy high-value air defense systems like the famous S-400 Triumph and other surface-to-air missiles.
S-400? Guys, I don't think the Islamic Republic has S-400s. I think they only have S-300s because I remember Russia refusing... Oh, did we remove this?
Great. Kevin will join you in about 3 more minutes. I'm just going to confirm it. I have you down here as former MP of Carlton.
MPP.
And MPP, yeah. Former MPP Carlton.
Yep.
Activist, right?
A human rights activist, yes.
Amazing.
It's political analyst and human rights activist.
Okay, let me have that right as well. Political and human rights activist, right?
Yes.
Political and okay. We're going to be having 2 segments. I sent you a text on how the layout is going to be. Did you see that?
You sent me a text on the layout?
The text on this,
yeah, I see it.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I'm going to have you on hold now, and the host is going to join you in about 2 minutes. Let me know if you have any questions for me.
All right, I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Ontario with wind chill expected to drop below -30.
Can you guys hear the phone? Is the phone loud enough?
-10.
Yep.
Okay.
Low dropping to -24. The wind chill will make it feel like -32. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. High -11 on Saturday, sunny. High -9, sunny Sunday with a high of -6. -13 in downtown Toronto, but it feels like -22 with the wind chill. Don't miss any breaking news when at the office or at home. Just tell your smart speaker to play 640 Toronto. I'm Danny Longo. This is Global News. Hello, I'm Wolfgang Klein, Portfolio Manager, CG Wealth Management. Charitable giving is a part of who I am. And when done right, it's one of the smartest financial decisions Canadians can make. My team can help you align
Armin,
your financial goals.
when I'm done the radio interview, I'd like to go back and watch that video from the beginning because that's very important. And I think that's really helpful.
And the music
Okay.
will your legacy play on? Visit wolfgangklein.com. Are you on the path to a heart attack or stroke? Ignorance is not bliss. Over 50% of people with normal cholesterol end up with heart disease. The HeartFit Clinic has helped thousands of people prevent and reverse heart disease using the most accurate screening tests and treatments not found at your doctor's office.
Book your cardiac assessment today for a complete workup of your heart health. Call 416-900-3349 or visit heartfit.ca.
Welcome back. It's Kevin Bong. I'm in for Alex. It's 1:06 p.m. and I don't know if it's just me, but it felt like that hour flew by. And if you thought that first hour was great, well, you're going to want to stay tuned because we have an incredible next 2 hours. If you thought it was awful, well, screw you. No, I'm just kidding. I do want to say hi, as always, not only to our friends in Toronto and across the GTA, but in 980 CFPL, London, Ontario, Forest City. And, I love London, Ontario. I don't miss the snow, but unfortunately, it seems like the snow has followed me to Toronto. And I want to, for our next guest, really paint the picture, okay? And remember in the last 2 years, post October 7th, we'd be sitting in our car or on the bus trying to get somewhere, and like you hear screams outside, yet another march. People are screaming awful things, some really hateful things. You see flags that kind of look like they're terrorist flags, some of which actually were flags of designated terror organizations. You grow concerned, and it was just a real pain in the ass. Well, more recently, and this is why I brought up winter and the snow and especially London, Ontario, and more recently polar vortex. You didn't want to go outside because the weather was awful. Well, it was a couple of weeks ago. The weather was awful. It was snowing, and yet there was another march, a march that was 100,000 strong. But unlike those hate parades before, this was one where you would have seen flags of Canada. You would have seen calls of solidarity for peace and support. And that was a march in support of the people of Iran. And so our next guest is someone who is a proud member of the Iranian diaspora, the former member of provincial parliament for Carleton, political analyst, and an incredible human rights champion, Goldie Gamari. Goldie, welcome to the Alex Pearson Show.
Hi, Kevin. How are you doing? Long time no talk.
I know. I'm doing pretty well. I know it's been busy, but you have been busy, so it's not really my fault. I'm seeing you everywhere. You're on shows around the world, speaking up for the people of Iran.
Yes, it's been quite busy for the last 33 days since the Iranian Revolution started. And not just me, but many, every single Iranian around the world, we're all pitching in, and we're all focusing and putting our time in to be a voice for people in occupied Iran who don't have a voice right now. So this is the least that I can do, and I'm honored to be a voice for people in occupied Iran.
That 100,000 strong margin, to put that in perspective, folks will remember the Blue Jays run for the World Series. We almost made it. 100,000 is 2.5 full sky domes out in the winter during a storm.
Yeah,
marching for democracy and freedom, and it was refreshing, Goldie. And so I actually, want you to kind of, especially for our listeners, people who haven't had the privilege, like myself, of working with you and other members of the Iranian diaspora, learning your history. Like, I want to start there. Like, is that 100,000, that peaceful parade, that solidarity, is that unique, or is that like part of the Iranian culture, that Persian culture?
You're absolutely right. That's part of the Iranian culture. So prior to 1979, Iran was actually a constitutional monarchy, just like Canada. We actually had the Constitution and the democratically elected Parliament of Iran was actually established in 1906. So a lot of people don't know that, but as of 1906, Iran was a constitutional monarchy, and that's the kind of country that we were, and we were very peaceful. Prior to 1979, Iran was a huge ally of the United States. It was a huge ally of Israel. Prior to 1979, Iran was not in war with any country. Iran was at peace with everyone, and it was only when the Islamic regime took over our country in the 1979 Islamic coup d'état that this terrorist jihadi ideology started to spread around the world. So this whole death to America, death to Israel, jihadi nonsense, that's not actually part of our Iranian identity or culture. That's part of the Islamist identity and culture. Because again, like we were, in fact, Iran was one of the biggest allies of the United States and Israel in the Middle East, and Iran was one of the biggest forces contributing to peace in the Middle East.
I see. Okay, and so I think that's an important piece of cultural background and context that I think people need to be aware of, because otherwise, what do we often see in social media, right? Different clips of death to the U.S., death to Israel, but also death to Canada. People stomping on our various flags in different parts of the world, and that included the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which we designated as a terrorist group here in Canada, and something that in the last parliament we worked very hard on doing. But that's different from that's not Iranian. That is not the people of Iran. That is not your culture.
Exactly. So that is the occupying force, which is why we are saying that Iran is currently occupied by a foreign Islamic dictatorship. Many of the people who are affiliated with the Islamic regime, they're not even Iranian. And that's why you're also seeing videos and footage, not just of Iranians who are fighting to overthrow the regime, but you're also seeing the pro-Palestine, pro-jihad terrorists who are not only waving the flag of Palestine, but they're also waving
what is that? What is that? For those of us who don't know, what is Palestine?
I don't know what that is. It's a fake made-up country that doesn't exist. But they also wave the flag of the Islamic regime. The Islamic regime is the flag of our occupiers, and the reason that these people are waving the flag of the Islamic regime is because the Islamic regime funds Hamas. The Islamic regime funds Hezbollah. The Islamic regime funds Hashd-e-Shabi, funds the Houthis. And right now, what's happening in occupied Iran, the country is in a state of martial law because the Islamic regime has imported all of these foreign proxy terror groups from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, and of course, Palestine. They've imported all of these non-Iranians into occupied Iran, and they're the ones that have been engaging in the mass slaughter of unarmed Iranian citizens. So this is what we Iranians say when we say our country is under occupation by a foreign entity. And right now, this is more than just a revolution, Kevin. This is a fight for liberation from 47 years of Islamic occupation.
Wow. And you're, as you're sharing this with us too, and the connections between the Islamic regime in Iran and their ties to other terrorist groups, there actually, in fact, was breaking news earlier today out of Global News by Stuart Bell about how there is a Toronto used car dealer who's now been accused of laundering money for Hezbollah, which is a terrorist group designated in this country, which has taken part in attacking our democratic ally of Israel in the Middle East, and of course is tied back to that very regime that Goldie has been talking about. Goldie, would you mind staying with us for another segment? I want to talk to you about, I want to get the latest on the revolution and how it's going, and how the EU is listing the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Well, stay with us. We're going to continue this important conversation so you know what's happening on the ground, and you know why 100,000 of our fellow Canadians were out on the street marching peacefully in solidarity for democracy and freedom. I'm Kevin Bong, and you're listening to the Alex Pearson Show. Well, let's take a look at the roads.
Kevin's actually a really good friend. Oh yeah, no, Kevin's a good friend. He's a former MP. He's also very, very pro Iran and pro Israel. So he has to be a little bit neutral, which is why I'm kind of teasing him with the Palestine stuff. No, Kevin's great. Kevin's actually a really, really good friend. He's a good friend.
Amazing. I'm trying to take notes. Because I'm learning from the master.
The top newsmakers, political headlines, your go-to weekly debrief. Hi, I'm back.
He said Palestine.
He's like, what is Palestine? I don't know, some fake country. Is that what I said? I was like, some fake made up country. I don't know.
Yeah. that doesn't exist. He said, a fake made up country that doesn't exist.
Well, it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So
that was so good.
This is why I don't want to go back into politics, because I wouldn't be able to say this if I was an elected official.
Yeah. You're so much more free here. This is where we need you. I'm so glad that they kicked you out. Thank you, Tommy Robinson, for making them, for gifting Goldie Unchained.
And thank you, National Council of Canadian Muslims. Cheers to you guys for accusing me of Islamophobia.
Yes. You created a scarier monster against you. You tried to silence her. You actually made her. You unleashed her. Thank you. The only good thing you did.
Solutions guarantees that you can buy your next home in this very, very tricky market. Buyer Guaranteed Home Purchase Program, also there for you. Call, check them out, and go get the team with all the experience, protection, and support you need. That is frankly an associate 416-917-5466. That's 416-917-LION. Or go to getlead.com and start the company. Busy, and your time is valuable. We appreciate you choosing 640 Toronto. CFIQ. Listen anytime on your smart speaker by asking for 640 Toronto. Did you know 2 in 5 Canadians will face cancer in their lifetime? Early detection can make all the difference.
Guys, should I give a code? Okay, guys. So in the next segment, I'm going to mention Bapish as a shout out to all of you. Okay, I'm going to mention Bapish as a shout out to you all.
Visit wholebodymri.ca to book now. Again, that's wholebodymri.ca. Get scanned.
Your show should be Goldie Unchained. No, the name of your show? Goldie Unchained.
The job description of CIO, from executive producer Dick Wolf and the team behind FBI. You can do a little book. Super expensive. One mission. You guys work in the open, we work in the shadows.
Or Unleash.
Nice work, partner. Hey, new series Monday, February 23rd on Global. Stream on Stack TV.
In Iran, horrific crackdown on protesters has come at a heavy human cost. The EU already has sweeping sanctions in place, and today ministers agreed to designate Iran Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization.
Welcome back to Alex Pearson. Hi, I'm Kevin Vaughn. It's 1:19 p.m. and you're listening to the Alex Pearson Show. That voice that you just heard was Kaya Kallas. That is the European Union, the EU, High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security. And the EU is listing the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist group that they are. And that is something that we worked very hard to do in the previous parliament in Canada. There are many brave voices and leaders within the Iranian diaspora that have been fighting for that for many years. And we've been speaking with one of them. Goldie Gamari is a former MPP. She's a human rights champion, and I'm so grateful that she has decided to stay with us to really give us a lowdown on what is the state of the revolution, how it's going. Obviously, there are so many aspects to this, but I want to center this on Canada first, and why the IRGC are terrorists. In January 2020, I was a civilian. I was teaching at U of T. It was an incredible opportunity. I was in my late 20s, and I was teaching at a professional master's program. And we had students from all over the country and some international students. And this was the master's program at the med school. And I was teaching leadership. And in my class was this amazing student. He was he came from a country where they have mandatory service. And so, but he wanted to help heal not fight. And so he became a medic, and he, after his mandatory service, became a doctor. And he wanted to come to Canada because he wanted to live in a free country, and he needed to do a master's to bridge his education, and then hopefully stay and become a doctor here. And I was like, amazing, because heck, we need them. We were going to see one another before Christmas, and just things got busy, and so he left, and we were going to grab coffee after he came back in the new year. Well, unfortunately, he was a passenger on flight PS 752, and they were shot down by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. This is part of the Islamic regime in Iran. He was one of 176 passengers. That included 55 Canadian citizens, many more who were permanent residents. So, this fight against this evil, murderous, and misogynistic regime is something that's very deeply personal to me. And it's why I've had the privilege of also being able to work with people like Goldie. So, Goldie, thank you for staying for another segment. Tell us about what's happening on the ground, because we're hearing reports now of over 36,500 people being murdered on the streets of Iran, where they've simply been fighting for their rights.
Well, first of all, Kevin, thank you so much for being a friend and ally. We appreciate you so much. In fact, we appreciate everyone who, not just in Canada, but around the world, who is supporting us, who's being, a voice for the Iranian people. They're joining us for our live streams. They're reposting our messages. They're singing our songs like Bapish and other revolutionary songs. So, just a big shout out to you and everyone around the world who is united in supporting Iranians. It really means so much to us. In terms of the number of people who have been slaughtered by the Islamic regime, that number of 30,000 or 36,000. That's only for the first 2 days, Kevin. That's only for the first 2 days. Yes, the number is in fact much higher than that. So, what's happened in the last few weeks is the single largest slaughter of Iranians since the Islamic regime took over in 1979. We're not going to get a full picture of the numbers until after we win the revolution. But what I can say is that this mass slaughter of innocent, unarmed Iranians, this has not made Iranians go back or retreat. If anything, the word from inside occupied Iran is that now Iranians, in fact, are determined more than ever to push forward until victory. There is no turning back. This is the final battle. And one of the chants that people in occupied Iran are saying is "In akharin nabarde Pahlavi barmigarde," which means this is the final battle. Pahlavi will return. Pahlavi, of course, is in reference to His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince of Iran. I refer to him as the Shah of Iran, King Reza Pahlavi. He is the leader of the Iranian National Revolution. He has a plan in place. He's been working on this plan for 47 years, and he is the only person that Iranians trust to transition Iran from a brutal Islamic dictatorship into a functioning secular democratic society.
Goldie, where's the Canadian government on this? Have they been supportive? Have they been helpful?
Mark Carney, I think, has been a disgrace. They've put out maybe like one statement, but that doesn't mean anything. But I think, unfortunately, with the policies of this Liberal government, Canada is pretty much irrelevant anyway. So, it already took us 7 years to put the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps on the Canadian terror list, and right now, I think, they put out a statement. We know that at least one Canadian has been murdered by the Islamic regime, but ultimately, what's really important about this revolution is the fact that for the first time in 47 years, we have the president of the United States who is backing the Iranian people instead of backing the Islamic regime, the way that Biden and Obama did, and of course the way that Jimmy Carter did. So honestly, like, you know, and I say this as a proud Canadian and a former Canadian politician, I am incredibly ashamed with the way with the globalist policies that Mark Carney is making. But ultimately, like the Canadian policy is irrelevant. We Iranians, we already did what we had to do in pressuring the government to put the IRGC on the Canadian terror list. The next step is for the Canadian government to recognize His Royal Highness King Reza Pahlavi as the official leader of the transitional government. Whether or not that's going to happen is another question, because Liberals have made it very clear where they stand geopolitically. They would rather support China. China, by the way, is supporting the Islamic regime. So Mark Carney has made it very clear that he actually supports those very governments that are helping the Islamic regime murder innocent Iranians. So I don't have a lot of faith in Mark Carney, but I know that Iranians are planning another huge rally, another huge demonstration on Sunday, February 1st at 1 p.m. at Dundas Square. I refuse to call it Sankofa Square. It's Dundas Square to me.
It's young and Dundas Square?
Yeah, it's Young and Dundas. I have no idea what Sankofa is. And, you know, one of the reasons I don't really like all of this renaming is because when the communists and the Islamists took over Iran in 1979, they also began a very, very, huge campaign of renaming streets, erasing our Iranian history, erasing Iranian culture, and replacing names with things that have no relevance to our identity. And so when I see the same thing happening in Canada, as an Iranian, that makes me very concerned. So, but there is a huge rally happening at 1 p.m. At Dundas Square, Sunday, February 1st. And it's open to everyone, not just Iranian, 1 p.m. And it's open to everyone, not just Iranians. And so, you know, if you support the Iranian people's fight for freedom and democracy, you're more than welcome to show up. You know, bring your Canadian flags or no flag at all, but come join us and come be our voice. Thank you.
Goldie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on, Kevin. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
That was Goldie Gamari, former MPP and human rights champion.
Hi, Goldie.
Thank you. Can you? Oh, thank you. Can you please? Thank you so much for that. Can you make sure to send me the link to the interview when it's ready?
Oh, I will. I'm going to upload it by the end of the day, and I'll be able to share the link with you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
10 out of 10. Amazing.
Yeah, did you guys like that?
Yes, thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the Bapish part. We appreciate the guys. That was for you guys, and amazing job advertising the. You know, that was really good. I didn't know about the renaming things. Why are they renaming?
I don't know, because they're commies and lefties. It's like when it's the same thing that happened in Iran when they took over our country. They started naming everything Palestine Square and I don't know, Imam Ali this and Muhammad that.
You were great, by the way. You touched on everything. You were like the facts per second. I don't know. You packed them up like, you know, they're so good. Like the amount of information that you actually deliver in every second is really impressive.
Thank you.
That's really good. That's very good.
It comes from my political background experience, right? I did a lot of media interviews. I also did a lot of professional media training. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. So there you go, guys. Now you were backstage with me for my live. And you know, guys, Kevin is a huge friend actually. So Kevin Wong, really, really good guy. He's a former politician as well, and super, super great guy. So always, you know, great to speak with him. I know he was trying to push back and be like neutral, but he was only like pushing back a little bit because you know he had to remain neutral. But Kevin is very, very good guy. Very, you know, always pro Iran, pro Israel, pro Canada. And you know, he understands our fight because he's from Vietnam, and Vietnam is under communist dictatorship as well, right? So yeah, he's also a veteran as well. He served in the Canadian Armed Forces. So there you go. All right, my interview's done.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
Guys, this is why we're so lucky to have Goldie, because I honestly think we don't have a better, other than Princess of Pahlavi himself, I don't think we have a better representative, of what the Iranian people want. I think you're honestly, I think you're the best voice out there. We got so lucky to have you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, see the street renaming, guys. The street renaming, that's like a red flag for us Iranians, because that's what they did to us when the communists and Islamists and the woke left took over. They started renaming everything. So
what are they renaming it to like native stuff?
No, Sankofa is like some word from Africa. I don't even know what it means.
Why?
I don't know. Divunan, like they're crazy. So
virtue signaling.
Honestly. So there we go. Thank you, Amir. Appreciate that. What are regular radio stations saying in Iran? Oh, everything in occupied Iran is under Islamic regime control. There's no free media or freedom of press in occupied Iran.
Probably Tucker Carlson or Nick Fuentes.
Yeah. It's probably what they're showing. Yeah. All right. Okay. Maybe we could go back to the military video and could we watch that from the beginning? Only because yes. I'm not a military person. So this is very fascinating for me. And I appreciate this information.
Yeah. Give me just 10 seconds because I wanted to watch your interview. That's why I didn't use the washroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it. That's fine. Guys, I'm working on a new video for you guys. It's an extended version of this one here. So while Armin's doing that, I'll show you. It's an extended version of this one. I'm working on a new music video. It's almost done. I'm adding the translations to it, but it's an extended version of this one.
Nice.
And I don't know if you've seen the original music video, but the original music video is from the 1980s. So nice. It is so good. Yeah. It's so good. So I'm working on that, and I'll share that with you guys when it's done in an hour or so maybe. All right.
It's perfect. All right. So let's go here. So guys, again, before I want to mention again to the people who weren't here that we only have something that this video doesn't really explain, is that we only have 2 points of entry. If we believe that Saudi Arabia has genuinely is cutting off their airspace, and also so is Qatar and the UAE, and all the other Arab countries around the Persian Gulf, that means that there's no point of entry from here. That means, Russia is obviously closed. So not from the north, not from the southwest. We only have 1 point of entry from here. That's why the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group is coming here. We also have a point of entry from here because Iraq and Syria are in no position to close off their airbase. So they should just shut up and accept it. And so we're going to have probably airstrike carrier group over here, maybe George W. Bush, USS George W. Bush, and also obviously Israel will always attack from here as well, right? So these are the only 2 points of entry. So we are very limited on how we could enter Iran. But with that in mind, let's go from the beginning
again. There's no audio.
Yep. Thank you.
Why is the Pentagon rushing to move a slow floating city halfway across the world at a burn rate of millions per day? In an era of stealth bombers that can strike anywhere on Earth in hours, why do we still rely on these massive assets? Moving a U.S. supercarrier from the South China Sea to the Persian Gulf isn't just a road trip. It is a logistical nightmare. We're talking about a massive operation that burns through more than $6.5 million every single day. But here is why they do it. A bomber strikes and leaves, but a carrier strike group stays. It parks 70 fighter jets off the coast of an adversary and leaves them there. It creates a no-fly zone that a bomber simply cannot maintain. But how exactly do U.S. attack operations and logistical support actually work? Part 1. The naval pivot. The chess pieces are moving. We are tracking the largest naval redistribution since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. The Pentagon is emptying the Pacific to flood the Persian Gulf. But where are all the U.S.
Again, guys, remember, emptying the Pacific is such a big deal because for the United States, the Pacific is the most important area of security. China is the greatest, adversary to the United States. So emptying the Pacific to this degree wouldn't make any sense unless you had a plan bigger than deterrence in mind.
The Pentagon is emptying the Pacific to flood the Persian Gulf. But where are all the U.S. nuclear carriers stationed when not at war? And how many will travel to Iran and the Middle East? On paper, the number is 11 nuclear-powered supercarriers, divided into 2 distinct classes. First, the Nimitz class. These are the 10...
So, guys, 11 is basically the total that the United States has.
Divided into 2 distinct classes. First, the Nimitz class. These are the 10 workhorses of the fleet commissioned between 1975 and 2009. Second, the Ford class. Right now, there is only one, the USS Gerald R. Ford. This new generation uses electromagnetic catapults to launch jets faster. Well, let's look at this scenario: what happened when the Department of War gives a green signal. The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is typically stationed in the South China Sea to deter Chinese vessels. However, upon receiving flash priority orders, it can sprint to the Middle East in just a week. It has to transit the Malacca Strait, the choke point between Malaysia and Indonesia. Meanwhile, the U.S. can launch another nuclear aircraft carrier. The USS George H.W. Bush will depart from Norfolk, Virginia, likely crossing the Atlantic to enter the Mediterranean. This leaves the Pacific dangerously thin, with only the USS Ronald Reagan or its replacement, the George Washington, potentially available in Japan. The plan is to have 2 full strike groups off the coast of Iran within 10 days to form a pincer deterrent. Here is part 2, the missile logistics. Following the...
I don't know why it's putting both of them there. I think that the George W. Bush one is supposed to be in the Mediterranean.
Here is part 2, the missile logistics. Following the first strike against Iran's nuclear bunkers, the U.S. had actually removed 60% of its missile defense systems from Qatar and the Middle East. So how many missiles are being transported from different parts of the world to fix this? The answer is fill the sky with these Globemasters. The U.S. military needs a massive airlift of roughly 4 to 6 Patriot batteries and components for a THAAD battery. This involves over 300 heavy transport flights. But here is the detail most people miss. The U.S. needs a flood of aging Patriot missiles to be pulled from stockpiles in Germany and Japan. Why move old missiles? Because they are the perfect cheap solution for Iran's thousands of Shahed drones. Commanders are hoarding the brand new scarce PAC-3 kinetic interceptors for the hypersonic and ballistic missile threats. The military is clearing out the Cold War inventory to save the modern tech for the big one. And part 3 is the cost of war. What is the cost involved in this massive transfer? War is expensive, but moving and arming is a fortune. First, the ships. Operating a single carrier strike group costs between $6.5 million and $9 million per day. That covers nuclear maintenance, jet fuel, and food for 7,000 sailors. Second, the ammo. A single THAAD interceptor costs $12.7 million. The SM-3 missiles on the destroyers cost $28 million per shot. If you combine the airlift fuel, the naval surge, and the pre-positioned ammo, this 30-day deterrence operation has a burn rate exceeding...
Guys, again, remember it says deterrence as if it's like in air quotes, because it doesn't, this much cost doesn't make sense if it's just for deterrence.
$1.5 billion, and that is before a single shot is fired. In part 4, we'll look at what is the logistic nightmare involved in sustaining this force. The nightmare is access. As of January 14, 2026, we have reports of a partial evacuation of the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar due to rising tensions. This is the nightmare scenario. If Qatar or the UAE deny the U.S. Navy access to their ports for fear of Iranian retaliation, the carrier strike group loses its pit stop. The Lincoln is nuclear, but her escort destroyers need diesel every 3 days. Without a friendly port, the U.S. Navy must create a steel chain of supply-class oilers stretching 7,000 miles back to Diego Garcia or Guam.
Wow.
If that chain breaks, the most powerful fleet in history becomes a floating museum. We cannot ignore this part 5, the air power alternative. But what happens if the carriers don't get there in time? Can the U.S. fight without its Navy? The answer is yes. Focusing only on the slow-moving ships is a mistake. The United States holds an ace up its sleeve that doesn't need to wait for a clear shipping lane. Even without a carrier strike group, the U.S. can deliver precision strikes for weeks to come. This is the domain of Air Force Global Strike Command. They can deploy the big 3 strategic bombers anywhere in the world in just 24 hours. First, you have the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. This is the door kicker.
This is how they did the 12-day war. This is how with the B-2 bombers were the ones involved when Trump got involved in the 12-day war to take out the Natanz and Fordo and the nuclear uranium enrichment facilities in Isfahan.
It is the only aircraft in history capable of taking off from Missouri, flying nonstop to Iran, penetrating the most advanced air defense networks undetected, and dropping massive bunker busters on deep underground facilities. Second, the B-1B Lancer, known as the Bone. This supersonic heavy hitter carries the largest payload of any U.S. bomber. It can dash in at high speed and low altitude to deliver massive barrages of cruise missiles or satellite-guided bombs to clear the path. And finally, the B-52 Stratofortress. It may look old, but do not underestimate it. It acts as a flying missile truck, capable of launching long-range cruise missiles from hundreds of miles away, well outside the reach of Iranian air defenses. Let's take a look at how this works. The first line attack involves the B-2 stealth bomber moving in to destroy high-value air defense systems like the famous S-400 Triumph and other surface-to-air missiles, effectively disabling them by using its...
So I just checked. Apparently, the Islamic Republic just recently managed to get their hands on S-400 as well. I thought they only have S-300s, but apparently they also have S-400s. Well, yeah. Okay. They reached operational status mid 2025.
Stealth technology. Next, the B-1 Lancer flies at a very low altitude towards enemy targets to take out older anti-aircraft guns and missiles. This clears the way for conventional aircraft like the B-52 Stratofortress, which can then sweep in to destroy any critical infrastructure without facing anti-aircraft threats. This is the reason they need both the B-2 stealth bomber and conventional bombers, as there are only 19 units of the B-2 Spirit in service to date. But let's move back to the Super Carrier Strike Group. A typical carrier strike group might comprise of 5 to 7 of these ships. At the center sits the aircraft carrier. These carriers can accommodate a maximum of 130 fighter jets. Flanking each side are 4 destroyers. They could be the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, predominantly used for anti-air warfare. Leading the battleship at the front is a Ticonderoga-class cruiser. These ships are multi-mission, covering air warfare, undersea warfare launching torpedoes, naval surface fire support, and surface warfare. At the back is the frigate class, generally serving as a light escort with a focus on anti-surface and anti-air roles, with a lesser degree of capability than larger ships. Depending on the mission, nuclear-powered Virginia-class submarines animated in our recent videos can also be added to the carrier strike group to seek out and destroy hostile surface ships and submarines. A typical carrier air wing can include the Grumman E-2 Hawkeye. This aircraft flies ahead of the aircraft carrier, scanning the battlefield with its large radome radar. Simply put, it acts as a scout, providing early warnings of any enemy activity up to almost 100 kilometers away. They even have a mini cargo plane, the C-2 Greyhound, which they use to transport equipment and personnel. While the 6 Seahawk helicopters are designed for rescue and anti-submarine missions. These Seahawk helicopters can be launched from a specific part of an aircraft carrier. We also made a deep dive into the sea, air, and land components of the nuclear triad. So subscribe for more videos to not.
All right, guys, this channel, by the way, let's give credit where credit is due. This is AI Telly. They're doing a really good job using AI to actually demonstrate what we keep hearing reports about. Yeah, so that was useful. Goldie, I have another video that Sohail is saying is very important for us to show. He's saying
Please,
to him.
please play all the videos that you have. Because I'm also going over the emails because I want to show the list of rallies as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So
you
I
go
think
with
you're
the video.
gonna. I think you're gonna really
In Washington,
like this.
they are sold.
Hold on. I think you're gonna like this. They're saying this is the most important video for people to see regarding the MEK. Apparently.
Yeah, Joker Nijad made this video and I shared it. This was actually on. Sorry, this is on my list of things to share. So 100%. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
This is really important.
Okay. So let's watch this. Guys, this is apparently this is really, really helpful for you guys to understand the MEK.
In Washington, they are sold as freedom fighters, the democratic alternative for Iran. But before we buy the packaging, we need to read the receipts. Founded in 1965, the MEK combined Islamic theology.
Sorry, guys, let's go from the beginning. Technical issues. Let's do this again. Sorry about that.
In Washington, they are sold as freedom fighters, the democratic alternative for Iran. But before we buy the packaging, we need to read the receipts. Founded in 1965, the MEK combined Islamic theology with Marxist ideology. Their mission? To destroy the Shah's government and drive American imperialism out of Iran. From the start, they followed two tracks: armed struggle and propaganda. In the 1970s, they used bombs to target American personnel. They assassinated at least 6 U.S. citizens, including military officers Lieutenant Colonel Lewis Hawkins, Colonel Paul Schaefer, and Lieutenant Colonel Jack Turner. Their radicalism was fueled by deep ties to the Palestine Liberation Organization, sending members to training camps in Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. Their platform called for the total uprooting of Zionist foundations. When the U.S. Embassy was seized in 1979, the MEK actively participated. They declared, "After the Shah, it's America's turn." In the wake of the failed U.S. rescue attempt, they placed their military units at the disposal of the Revolutionary Guards to fight America. Once the hostages were released, the MEK condemned it as a surrender and labeled restoring U.S. ties as treason. Following a fallout with the new regime, they fled to Iraq to become foot soldiers for Saddam Hussein. In 1991, they reportedly helped Saddam's guard crush Shia and Kurdish uprisings. Inside their camps, they became a cult. Reports describe forced divorces, stolen children, and re-education prisons for dissenters. Because of these violent acts, the U.S. State Department designated the MEK as a foreign terrorist organization in 1997. However, the MEK launched a massive, multi-million-dollar lobbying campaign in Western capitals. In 2012, during the Obama administration, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton delisted them. But even then, the U.S. government warned, "We have not forgotten their past terrorism." Today, the goal is rebranding. The message is polished. The events look official. The branding says freedom. But the record does not change. An official State Department report was clear. They are shunned by most Iranians and are fundamentally undemocratic. They are not a viable alternative for Iran. However, some prominent U.S. political figures and advocacy networks have tried to rebrand the MEK. But make no mistake, these are paid appearances.
And MEK is leading the way to a free Iran.
Is there an alternative to the mullahs, to the dictatorship? And the answer is yes. It's the resistance. It's the MEK. It's Mrs. Rajabi.
The MEK has funneled massive sums into speakers' fees, but they are not buying legitimacy. They're renting it. Today, they hide behind shell groups like the Organization of Iranian American Community to appear popular. They can still push the same narrative through lobbying and legacy media, and they even disable comments across their digital platforms because they cannot handle public feedback. But we've seen the history. We're not buying the packaging. We're reading the receipts. In Washington, they are...
Okay, that was really good. Guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys.
Joker
Please share
Nijad,
this.
Joker Nijad is really, really good at that stuff.
Wow. Yeah, it was amazing. Guys, make sure you share, you spread this video far and wide everywhere you can, because you're helping undo 47 years of propaganda by MEK just by sharing this video. It basically hits all the major points. It was really good. That was very helpful. Let me see. I have a new Fox News video about Iran. Do you want me to play that? By the way, guys, did you like the military analysis? Let me know if you guys are into. Let me know in the chat if you guys want us to go over, the details of the military built up around Iran more often or not. Yeah, guys. Yeah, thank you. People are saying thank you. I'm going to share everywhere. Yes, please do. Please do. On all social media where you're active, please share that. Okay, yes to the military analysis. Okay, that was good. All right. Okay, that's good. All right, good to know. So I'll be more on the lookout for stuff like that for you guys for our future shows. Let me see this Fox News video. Let's see what they're saying about Iran.
Well, Sandra, President Trump is now giving a dire warning to Iranian leadership, writing on Truth Social this morning that a massive armada is heading towards Iran and is ready to, quote, fulfill its mission with speed and violence if necessary. Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin is tracking the latest for us on this. And Jennifer, it sounds like Iranian leaders are now responding with their own warning. What can you tell us?
That's right, Bill. In fact, the rhetoric is getting increasingly heated from the leaders in Iran. We have a statement from one of those leaders in which he said that any U.S. strike would be met with an immediate response, unprecedented, he described. We also heard from Iran's foreign minister that the armed forces in Iran have their fingers on the trigger, and the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei himself said that any illusion that any U.S. strikes would be limited is an illusion at that. The president, however, is deploying a clear carrot and stick strategy toward Iran. The USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group is now in CENTCOM control with its 3 guided missile destroyers and dozens of combat aircraft, including stealth F-35 fighter jets and F-A-18 fighter jets, and literally hundreds of Tomahawk cruise missiles capable of reaching Iranian targets. President Trump also offering an olive branch.
There's another beautiful armada floating beautifully toward Iran right now. So we'll see. I hope.
Oh, by the way, guys, I saw a report by, what was it? Let me actually check. Where was this? I saw a report that says most Americans are in favor of an attack against the Islamic Republic, which is amazing because usually you see Americans are not in favor of that. So this is actually, where was this reported? Oh, Politico just came up with a report that's showing
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you for supporting us.
Yes. And 61% of Trump's supporters, the MAGA, it's interesting because a lot of people associate MAGA with isolationism, but 61% of Trump supporters are in favor of an attack against the Islamic Republic, which is quite interesting because they were less in favor of an attack against Mexico or Colombia and Cuba and Greenland. So it's for Mexico. Okay, so apparently 32% for Mexico, 30% for Colombia, 28% for Cuba, 21% again for Greenland, but 61% against the Islamic Republic in favor. So majority are in favor. So we have American support among MAGA. Like imagine that. Like people thought, like, yeah, MAGA would be like, no, don't do anything outside of America. But like, yeah, the vast majority of MAGA are in favor. So thank you, guys.
They make a deal. I hope they make a deal. They should have made a deal the first time they'd have a country.
The protests may have ebbed, but they will spark up again in the future because this regime, unless they are willing to change and or leave, have no way of addressing the legitimate and consistent complaints of the people of Iran who deserve better.
The U.S. Air Force is running regional military exercises this week to signal readiness. Officials see a real chance President Trump acts, but an equal chance Iran blinks.
He's setting the theater in a way that gives him lots of options in the near term and probably even for a little bit of a longer runway looking out into the future. So if tomorrow or a week from now or a month from now there were a strike on Iran by the United States or in concert with others, I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
I think if you are the Ayatollah and you look at the military buildup in the region, he has to wonder whether he will suffer the same fate as Maduro or something worse if he doesn't come to the negotiating table.
Iran's ambassador to the UN responded. Last time the U.S. blundered into wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, it squandered over $7 trillion and lost more than 7,000 American lives. Iran stands ready for dialogue based on mutual respect and interest, but if pushed, it will defend itself and respond like never before.
So this is very interesting because to their own local, audience, they're saying that we will crush them, we will defeat them, but then to the United States, they're like, oh, we're ready for dialogue. And this messaging you see from the Islamic Republic, this is them trying to impact a U.S. audience. So the top part is for a U.S. audience to try to remind Americans that, oh, remember how unpopular it was for the Iraq and Afghanistan situation? So try to turn them against Trump. So this top paragraph is the Islamic Republic trying to turn Americans against Trump, to try to put political pressure on Trump, to say like, all right, let's not repeat Afghanistan or Iraq. This bottom part is for the U.S. government, and it's completely a different narrative compared to what they say in Iran to their own followers. Because to their own followers, they're like, we will crush them, we will destroy them, they will not dare attack us, we will annihilate them, or stuff like that. But then to America, they're saying, can we please talk? Basically, that's this one.
Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, Bill said publicly it would not let anyone use its bases to attack Iran. Bill?
Yeah, at this point, Iran
has... So Saudi Arabia, the reason why Saudi Arabia and Qatar and UAE are afraid is they're saying that because they're afraid that the Islamic Republic will use that as a way to retaliate against them, saying that they were cooperating with Israel and the United States, so they're a fair target. But what Saudi Arabia might be miscalculating is that they are going to be fair target for the Islamic Republic, regardless of whether or not they have an excuse or not. Because the Islamic Republic, if they think that they're going to be toppled very soon, they're not going to think about like, should we attack Riyadh? Should we attack Dubai? Should we attack Doha? No, we don't have any we don't have any justification for that. They're not going to think about that because they will only think about that if they're thinking long-term international political capital, whether they will have it or not. So they wouldn't attack, for example, Dubai because they think that's going to reduce their political standing from internationally. But if they think, well, long term doesn't matter because we're about to die, we're about to end the Islamic Republic, then it doesn't matter for them if they use up their political capital or not. They will bomb everything and anything they can, including Riyadh, including Doha, and including Dubai. Right? So this is why this is a miscalculation. I hope they're lying. I hope Saudi Arabia realizes that this is it, and this is their chance also to get rid of the Islamic Republic. And this is just this is just political theater when it comes to we won't let you. I hope behind the scenes they're telling America, if it comes to it and you need to use our airspace, use our airspace. And in public, they're just saying like, oh, you're not allowed to use our airspace.
Has to know the president is not bluffing. Jennifer Griffin, live here in Washington. Jen.
Right, yes. So let me see. Before, guys, a couple of things that you need to understand. Oh, Goldie, do you want to share something? Let's go to Goldie.
Oh, I have that music video that I promised you.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
Guys, so we might have a new music video to add to our Iran Revolution live playlist. You guys are gonna have to let us know. So this song is going viral amongst Iranians. You've already seen like a short clip of it. So I actually took the song and I added subtitles so that you guys can sing along. And your new Persian word for the day, so your new word of the day is parande. Parande means bird. Okay. And welcome to 1980s Iranian pop music. This song was released in 1987. There you go, guys. Let me know what you guys think.
That was perfect. Thank you, guys. Can we appreciate Goldie? Did you edit this yourself, right? You edited this yourself.
Yeah, I was working on it last night and this morning.
This is what Goldie does for you guys. You should be so grateful. That's amazing.
Well, it's good to introduce people to Iranian music and culture, right? So at least now you guys know like what our songs are about. And what's really funny is when you go and you read the lyrics, it's like it's a song that's about love and springtime, and it's like he's referring to like his love. He's like, my love, my bird, my paranda, I miss you. He's like, come back, I will be your shade. All these things. So. But Iranians have taken the song and they've superimposed B-2 bomber and American Army, American military footage over it. So I just basically took that and I extended it and then I added the lyrics. So I'll upload this video to my YouTube channel. Is that me on the saxophone? Yeah, that's me on the saxophone. That's totally
it. Obviously.
So there you go. There's Iranian 80s music.
اگه اون موقع این شکلی بودی تا حالا
خوب بودی. 2 سالم بود. So there you go. I made this. Whoever made this, that's me. I made this version. So I added the subtitles. I will upload it to YouTube shortly. And I'll add it to my Iran Revolution playlist. So you guys can go there. And we love Martik. Like Martik is an OG singer. Like we love him. He's fantastic. So okay. Armin, when is your discussion group happening?
Oh, in 50 minutes.
50 minutes?
By the way, there's a new offer for Trump by the Iranian people. You want to see?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So here's an offer from Iranian people to Trump. Okay. So in saying, President Trump, this is a serious offer. We offer you this 4,900-acre complex in Tehran as a gift. Free our country, and you can turn it into a hotel and casino. It's currently a shrine housing the founder of Islamic Revolution's tomb. You can do whatever you want with it. So, so given that Trump loves real estate, they're saying this is where Khomeini is buried. So they're saying you could have this, you could turn it into a casino, and they will offer and get to Trump as a gift in exchange for taking out the Islamic Republic. I think that's a good offer. I mean, look at that. It has gold. I think Trump likes that. Look, there's a lot of golden, minarets and stuff. I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna retweet this, baby. I think
you should.
Yes.
There's something else I wanted to show. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up my. There's a lot of videos here. Yeah, I shared the MEK one, but where's the... There was one about Iranian TV.
I have some sad videos whenever it's mood killers, but tell me if you guys, whenever you want to see some.
So you know what? Why don't you go to the sad videos then? Because that's important. And then we can go to some of the ones that make us feel better. How about that?
Okay.
we'll mix it up.
Got-
Because it's important to see the difficult things as well and talk about it and to bear witness. So, we should bear witness, absolutely. But we'll take it in stages, right? Because if we focus all on that, then we'll just fall into a pit of despair. And we're not
yeah.
here to.
By the way, sorry guys that I, that I showed this to you guys, but I guess we have to see them. I hope. I know it's like a mood killer, but
Well, I mean, it's important, right? And so that's the whole point here, is to go with the ups and downs. But it's it's also really, really important to share these videos so that you guys also appreciate and understand what it is that we Iranians are going through, and what it is we're fighting for, and also why we Iranians appreciate so much that President Trump is sending the American military to the Persian Gulf to attack the Islamic regime, right? So this is the horrific details of what we've been going through for the last 47 years.
yeah. So this is family of a 16-year-old boy. Apparently, he was killed in Iran, and then during the revolution, they're barred from speaking publicly. So let's watch this video. Apparently, this is the regime forces stopping them from speaking. So this is in Bushehr city. So somebody is filming the boy, who was this is what the Islamic Republic has done, and now the guy, the regime force behind them, he's saying don't record this, don't record this. This is film negiri. Oh, look at them. He's saying today is, look at him. He's trying to get this to you guys. He's saying today, he's giving the date. He's saying today is January 8th. Oh. He's like, look at what these mercenaries have done to us. So I'm going to play this one more time without translating. So now you have the full context. So he's trying to record what happened to their son, and the regime force is trying to stop him from recording.
امروز 18 دی ماه 1404 اینه ببین مزدورا بابا چی کار کردن شهید وطن رو ببینید شهید وطن رو ببینید.
All right, so that was that one. Okay, so Sohail is saying the man who's wearing this uniform, he's the hospital security who takes orders from the Islamic Republic. Thank you, Sohail, for giving me the context. Okay, this is another video of one of the, I think it's from one of the people who were killed, and they brought the body to home. Sohail, can you give me context for this one? Did they bring the body home because they didn't want to let the regime to hold on to it? Let me just play it. Let me see what Sohail is saying. Yes, exactly. So guys, they brought the body home instead of like letting the first responders take it, because they didn't know if they would be able to get it back that's why they brought the body home. So you said in Mohammed, let me see, what's this one? So the next video is of a 28-year-old who was murdered by the regime. We have a video of her when she was alive. This is the video of her showing her filled with life when she was alive. This is her. She's murdered.
Will be a million years. Promise you remember that.
So maybe I should just.
Baby, can you see through the tears?
So wait, her name is Negin Kadimi. All right, is that her name? 28-year-old shot dead there Shahsavar. Yep. So that one's that. Okay, so last one, guys. I promise, last one. This is easier to watch, actually. This is easier to watch. This is a doctor who is doing surgery on one of the people who had pellets in their eyes. So the regime uses pellet guns to blind people. They target directly at the face to blind people. So the doctor is happy that one of the eyes is going to make it. So this is a surgeon in Iran who's doing surgery on the eyes of one of the patients who was shot by the regime with pellet guns in the eye. So he's trying to save the eyes from going blind, and let's see what he's saying. So this person has came from Elam, and his eyes, there's pellets in his eyes. He's been shot in the eyes by pellets. So we are happy because his first eye has been successful. He has a 4-year-old boy, and his wife is waiting outside. So they're happy because his wife is outside the surgery room, and they're happy that they could tell her that one of her eyes will continue to see. He's saying the doctor is thanking the entire personnel for helping. Oh, they're singing a romantic song about how good your eyes are. You see, Iranians, they turned romantic song, like you remember the Goldie was showing that romantic song about the bird. They turned it into a song about the B-2 bomber. So this is like another romantic song about someone's eyes, and they're singing it. Oh, the entire personnel is singing it. This is the end of the second week. Okay. So yeah, that was the news regarding saving one eye. Okay, so sad videos are over.
I sent you a bunch of videos on WhatsApp. Can you start with the first one that I sent you?
Okay.
They're all on X. So if you just go to start from the beginning, it starts with the one from the reporter from Sky News. And then you can work your way down from that list. And I'm going to add a few more to that.
Can I do a funny picture first so we could recover from this? Okay. So guys, we're going to do a recovery funny picture that Sohail sent me. We need this. Okay, so these are the different imams in Shia Islam. Okay, so this is Imam Ali at the top right. The reason why he's been depicted like that, because when he was doing the sajdah, like when he was praying, that's how he was killed. Like he was basically, what is this called in English, sajdah?
I don't know, praying?
No, sajdah when you're basically down.
I don't know, bending over? I don't know.
So basically this was when Imam Ali, the first Shia Imam, he was in this position when somebody came from behind and killed him. So that's why they're showing Imam Ali, Imam Ali like that, right? Oh yeah, prostration. Yes, he was in prostration when he died. So this is Imam Ali. This is how they killed him, right? A lot of people suggest that the person came from behind with a sword and basically hit the sword in his head. But a lot of people, Iranians, have analyzed this deeply, and they say there's no way when somebody is in prostration that you would hit the sword in the head, because the head is down, and you're not going to be able to reach him. So a lot of Iranians think that Shias are lying to you, and his killer actually shoved the sword, where. And that's why they depict him like that. So this is Hussein, because Hussein is the third Imam of Shia Muslims, because he was beheaded in Karbala.
This is kind of graphic, though. That's not even funny. I think this is funny for oh my gosh. Okay.
I think people liked it. This is Abbas. Abbas was also in Karbala, and his hands were cut before he died. So this is how they're showing Abbas. This is Fatima. Fatima, as you remember, was died because Omar basically slammed the door on her, and that's how she died. So this is how they're showing Fatima. Okay. And this is the 12. So this is the 12th Imam, Imam Mehdi, who is in hiding. So basically, they're depicting him like this. All right. Oh, people are laughing in the chat, so they're appreciating this.
I know they're appreciating it. It's just like,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I wanted to share before we go to the links that I sent to Armin. I want to share a quick video, guys. This is the difference between so this is like two Iranian TV shows. One is from after the 1979 Islamic coup d'etat, and then one is from before. So I just want you guys to see, like, you know, when the Islamic regime took over our country, literally overnight, the country went back to like the 7th century. It was the, I would say, the single greatest like setback in civilization and culture we've ever seen. So I just want you, so this is a very good comparison of you know, Islamic regime TV versus Iranian TV and Iranian culture. And you might recognize someone in this video. So this is Islamic regime TV right now. Okay, so this is, if you turn on Islamic regime TV, this is the kind of stuff you'll see that like the weird Shia Muslims are doing. Do you recognize him? This is Iranian TV before 1979. Do you recognize him, guys? So there you go. That's the difference between what we had. So this here before 1979 is what Iranian TV used to look like. So this right here is Iranian TV. You know, this is our culture, our heritage, what we had. And then this here, this weird like Shia thing, this is what's currently on, like these are the demons that are occupying us right now. So again, let's watch this one more time. Islamic regime TV versus Iranian TV. There you go. So I just wanted to share that with you guys as well, because what you're seeing.
What were they even doing? I don't even know what they were. I mean, I've seen a lot from the Islamic Republic. I don't know what that. What was that? Somebody explain that to me.
Not my culture. Not my problem. I have no idea what the heck these people are doing. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Can you even call that culture?
I don't know what it is.
That is insanity.
That is literal insanity. Literal insanity. So, but guys, like, we were a normal functioning country before 1979, and then when the Muslim Nazis took over, literally the biggest downgrade in the history of civilization. So, yeah, those people, they are not us. This is the real Iran. So there you go. I thought you guys would enjoy this because you can see Bepishman here. Fereydun Farrokhzad.
Oh, I understand what it is. It's loud noises.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. See, Savakzadeh is right. Not my culture, not my problem. Exactly. Like, I don't know what those people are doing. It's not my culture. I don't care. I don't know.
I love his username, Savak.
I know.
Savakzadeh. Savak, guys, Savakzadeh means like born from Savak. That's what that means.
So
all right.
There you go. All right. Did you want to go to the videos that I sent you?
Yep. That's
Okay.
yeah.
So this is just,
you're saying the people in Sydney they shared what was
I don't
on our mind.
I don't know the account itself. It's more just the video that I wanted to share.
I just want to give the full context. Yeah. Okay, let's do this.
Just on protests, we all saw the blanket media coverage of yesterday's protests, and we've all seen the endless coverage of the relentless pro-Palestinian and anti-Israeli protests over the past 2 years and more. But what about this protest in Sydney on Sunday? Did you hear much about this one? Have a look at them all. Perhaps 10,000 people chanting against the Iranian regime, protesting in support of the Iranian people who have bravely risen up against their Islamist extremist government. Thousands have been killed. Some estimates say more than 50,000 Iranians have been killed. But this peaceful protest in Sydney seems to have been ignored by most media. I couldn't find any mention of it on the ABC. To be fair, Channel 7 covered a protest at the US consulate a couple of days earlier, so that's a good thing. But seriously, it seems the Iranian regime has killed more innocent citizens than were killed in Gaza during 2 years of war. Most of those killed in Gaza were, of course, Hamas terrorists or operatives. Yet the protests here get next to no coverage. The innocent lives of Iranians don't rate a mention. One of the few organisations to cover the protests on Sunday was the Australian Jewish News. Now, this Iranian theocratic regime is the same Islamist regime that funded Hamas, that controls Hezbollah, and that is committed to the destruction of Israel. But the media doesn't seem to care so much when this regime kills tens of thousands of its own citizens, especially women who want to break the shackles of a shockingly brutal and sexist regime. Seriously, the anti-Israel mob, the hard left and the Islamist hardliners really need to get hold of a moral compass, don't they?
That was so good. Guys, I'm going to retweet this. You could follow me on X if you want to find
Just on protests.
That was good. All right, let's go to this one. That was on point. Doesn't need to be added. No commentary need to be added. It was so perfect and complete. Appreciate them. And all right, so this one, the Iranian Navy appears to prepare for the arrival of U.S. warships. Okay, let's watch this. Just to be clear, it's not the Iranian Navy; it's the Islamic Republic Navy.
You might have to you might have to mute it because that sound is copyrighted.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I always have to cut it out from the intro once we upload the live because you'll get a copyright strike on it. Okay. I mean, I could find some like Benny Hill music or something.
It's okay.
Maybe, but
no, it's only yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 minutes long, but
oh yeah, you're right. Give us some music. DJ Goldie.
Okay. Geez, I'd have to. Okay, go to the next video. And then I'll try to find something and then upload it.
So guys, gundaguz in Persian means loud farts, and we call gundaguz somebody who's basically just acting like they're tough, but they're just like barking with no. It's all barks and no. Gundaguz just basically means all bark and no bite, and it literally translates to loud farts. This is Mohsen Rezai. It says Mohsen Oskole mige bas dige bishtar az in jalo nayad. Okay, this is good. All right, let's watch this. Do I translate it or just play it through first? Let me just.
Well, play it once and then translate it.
Okay.
ما توصیه میکنیم عقب برید دیگه بیشتر از این جلو نیاد. ما اگر راه بیفتیم ما دیگه بحث آتش بحث این چیزا نداریم ها. ما هم الان به صراحت بهتون میگیم این ضرباتی که زدید این خساراتی که تو این 50 سال وارد کردید این هرچی ما داریم نجابت و صبر راهبردی به خرج میدیم شما توجه نمیکنید. ما اگه دوباره بیفتیم رو اون دوره دفاع مقدس جنگ از سال دوم به بعد، مطمئن باشید مشکلات جدی برای شما پیدا میشه. تا همینجا متوقف کنید برگردید. ما تو
Wow. Okay. Oh, by the way, so he's saying Gunda goose is big fart, not loud fart. Okay. Big farts, basically just noises. Oh my God. This is amazing. This is amazing. Let me translate this.
ما توصیه میکنیم عقب برید دیگه بیشتر.
So he's saying we recommend that you just retreat. Go back. Basically to America, saying this to the Americans. Just retreat. We just recommend that you go back. Guys, this guy is part of IRGC, as you can tell by his uniform.
از این جلو نیاد.
Don't come any closer. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Don't come any closer.
ما اگر راه بیفتیم ما دیگه بحث آتش بس و چیزا نداریم ها.
He's saying, guys, this IRGC commander is telling America that if the Islamic Republic gets involved, there's not going to be any more ceasefires after that, okay? Like, we're going to go all out. The Islamic Republic, guys, everybody be very afraid. The Islamic Republic is saying that if they start a war, if the Islamic Republic gets involved, after this, there's going to be no ceasefire. They're going to go all out, all the way through.
ما هم الان به صراحت بهتون میگیم این ضرباتی که زدید، این خساراتی که تو این 50 سال وارد کردید، این هرچی ما داریم نجابت.
He's saying, let me tell this to you clearly. Let me tell this to you clearly. All of the
و صبر راهبردی به خرج میدیم شما توجه نمیکنید.
He's saying for the past 50 years, all your attacks and all the costs you had for us, everything you've done, we have been strategically patient. We could have basically retaliated and made you suffer, but we have been strategically patient. But you haven't been paying attention to our strategic patience. Okay, you haven't been paying attention. Like, the warning is, America, we're going to stop being patient. All of this time, everything you did, the Islamic Republic, the reason why they haven't been responding is because they're just so patient. You know, they're not for war. They could have retaliated, but this is called strategic patience, and now they had enough. So just consider yourself warned.
ما اگه دوباره بیفتیم رو اون دوره دفاع مقدس جنگ از سال دوم به بعد، مطمئن باشید مشکلات جدی برای شما پیدا میشه.
Like, if we start holy war in the same way we did in Iraq, be certain that you're going to have a lot of problems. There's going to be a huge problem for you if you basically get these people to. He's basically suggesting that don't wake up the sleeping dragon. We're going to annihilate you. Okay.
تا همینجا متوقف کنید برگردید.
Just stop from, as far as you come from so far, just stop it right here and just go back home. Just go back. Yeah. Guys, okay. Americans, you have been warned.
Armin, I found the perfect music for that video of the Islamic regime Navy. So I just have to mute your screen so it doesn't go back. All right.
Go ahead. So play it. Fishing boats? even look like military boats.
I think people are saying they're fishing boats.
They look like fishing boats.
Someone wrote Bayre Mahigiran. Like they're fishing boats.
That's what they look like. I think that's what the joke is. Oh no, it's not a joke. Oh my god, this is actually their military boats. No, this is their actual military boats. What? What? What, guys? This is an actual, military analysis account. These are actually their military boats. They look like fishing boats. The Iranian Navy. That's their Navy. Guys, I've read a lot of reports about how pathetically weak the Navy is, but I didn't think that their boats look like fishing boats.
Oh, have you seen the new aircraft carrier? The new Islamic regime aircraft carrier? Here, let me show you.
Oh yeah, the one that used for flying drones, right? Yes.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know this one here.
Yep, that's for drones.
So they basically took like a cargo ship, they emptied it out, and then they just put like some asphalt on top of it, and they're calling it an aircraft carrier.
Yep, that one cannot carry planes. They just use it for flying their drones. It cannot hold any planes.
But it's a repurposed cargo ship. That's like the messed up part. They like it's.
Yeah, when they came out, I remember Iranian people used to make make fun of this.
Yeah,
the Islamic Republic released this a few years ago. They were so proud of it.
Honestly, guys, like the only thing that the Islamic regime is good at, the only thing they're good at is murdering unarmed Iranians, right? That's the only thing that they could do is slaughter unarmed Iranians, because literally everything else about them, everything about their evil existence is a joke. And
they're good at Gondaguzi too.
Yeah. It's just a joke, right? So literally the only thing that they're good at is murdering, unarmed, young Iranians and slaughtering us in the name of Allah and Islam and jihad and I don't know, whatever durka garbage nonsense. They're good at that. They're good at murdering unarmed Iranians, but everything else is a joke. Literally it's a joke. And they've turned our entire country into a joke because of their 7th century Islamic jihadi ideology. So just want to put that out there as well.
Goldie, we call them Gondaguz Mantaghe instead of Qudrat Mantaghe.
There you go, Gondaguz Mantaghe, exactly. Exactly. All right. I think I sent you a few other things as well.
Yep, we got it.
Okay.
Oh, they're green now. The submarines come in green as well. Let me see. What is this one? Oh, cute. They have multiple colors.
Oh, you should play that too. Did you see that?
Yeah, I should play that one too. Yeah. Guys, look at this. This is the IRGC.
Read the caption too.
Yeah, so Goldie is saying, dear Americans, the Muslim Nazis occupying Iran want you to know how powerful they are. Please watch this very instructional video until the very end. Hold on, let me actually retweet this. Repost. Sorry, Elon, repost. Okay, let's watch this.
Oh wait, there's no audio.
No?
Oh, I fixed it.
Oh my god, that's so good. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my god, that was golden. All right, and this one is okay, Goldie. You've got to see the top of the line war gear. Okay, let's watch this. By the way, guys, a lot of people thought the drone, it's not an aircraft carrier, the drone carrier that he showed us, a lot of people thought that's AI. That is not AI. State TV in Iran showed that, and they were proud of it. Okay, so this is apparently their submarines. فروش یک دستگاه زیردریایی در حد نوع کف. Okay, let's watch this. What the like what? That sounds like an old car that doesn't start. Guys, why does this remind me of dial-up internet?
Oh my gosh.
Guys, that doesn't even have a proper engine. It doesn't start. Listen to it like they're trying to start their submarine. Watch this. Come on, is this real? They don't even have a proper engine. That's they're trying to start it. It doesn't even have a proper engine or a battery. Oh my god. Amazing. Guys, our cars runs better than their submarine. Yeah. I wouldn't go into this. I would think like I'm gonna die. This is gonna drown. Unbelievable. Oh yeah, I saw this. That was on my list to show as well. Guys, they found the Basiji in a hole.
So Basiji is one of the Muslim Nazis, right? These are the people that are murdering us.
Yeah, so Basiji has two names in English. Either you could call them Islamic morality police, or some people call them plain clothes. They wear plain clothes militia, so they don't wear uniforms. So the Iranians, you know what, Goldie? You know why he's in a hole? He's just following the model of Khamenei, Mushali. Okay, just like Khamenei, he's hiding in a hole. So let's look at this Basiji in a hole. So guys, he was shooting at people and people chased him, and he was surrounded by people, so he was trying to hide in a hole, and they're pulling him out. Somebody's saying take his gun. Somebody else is swearing at him like, you mother effer, you were shooting at people. So this is one of those people who were shooting, and people I don't know. What do you think they did to him after this? People are saying this is therapy. Oh my god, in the chat. Yes, guys, this is good. This is good for a morale boost. A lot of more like this is going to happen. I promise you that we're going to be flooded with videos like this at some point in the near future. Hopefully. All right. Oh, I have my group discussion in about 17 minutes. Thank you, Goldie. That was we needed that.
You're very welcome. I got the good videos, I got the bad videos, I got them all, and we'll go through it all. So Armin, I mean, why don't you then, because you have your group discussion, and we've been going for a while. If you like, you can leave now, so you can get 15 minutes as well to do what you need to do. Okay. And then I will restart the channel because we haven't actually played any of the songs that we usually play for our viewers and listeners because Tusi started and then I had my interview and we just went right into it. So why don't we do that? Right. I think it's about that time where we restart.
All right, guys. So guys, I'm going to go into our discussion group. The link to our discussion group, I'll put it in the chat. So if you want to come and talk to me and other people in our group about what's happening in Iran, in the Middle East, and even the rest of the world, but mostly like geopolitics right now in the Middle East, just come into the group chat. The link is there. If you want to come ask any questions, we're all there to help you out. And yeah, and also if you just want to come listen, you don't have to speak. You could come there and just listen to us. You could open your camera. You could keep your camera closed if you wanted to. All right, no pressure. So again, one more time, the link is in the chat. I'll see you guys there in about 15 minutes. And I'm Israel Chai, Javid Shah, Payande Iran.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Armin. We will see you. Yeah, wait, it's about 2 hours long, right? So we'll see you in about 2 hours?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Yes.
Great. We'll see you in about 2 hours then. All right. Thanks so much, Armin. Everyone, yeah, go there. Go there if you want to join the group conversation. If not, stick around with me and we'll listen to some, Iranian tunes and music for the first hour. The second hour, I do go into news though. So, all right, guys, I'm going to play a couple of songs for you, and then we're going to restart the live stream. So make sure that you are following, because when I return, I'm going to go over the list of all of the rallies. Okay, so all the rallies that are happening this weekend around the world. The list is there. You can also find the list in the video, in the description of my live stream. So if you just go to like the video description, you'll find the link there. It's tinyurl/Iran rally. So the link is there. And with that, I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Here's some Persian music to end off the live stream. All right, here we go. Oh no. All right. Ah, that's a shame. That's a shame. Oh no. I hate when that happens. So, yeah, it's a copyright strike. All right. All right. Ah, isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame? Don't worry, guys. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. We'll be back. We'll be back. Am I back yet? So, you know what? It's working on X. It works on X, but it doesn't work on Google. So here, let me just put the, sorry, it works on X, but it doesn't work on YouTube. It works on X, but not YouTube. Okay. I'm restarting. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we should, we have to blame YouTube for that. We'll have to blame YouTube. Everyone on X is enjoying it, but we'll be back. We'll be back anyway.